Today we're going to be covering a bunch of things. 4 of them are battery power supply related. One's for your hands and one is a kitchen gadget. So up first we have some rechargeable batteries. We went with these Amazon Basics. The 24 pack was a great price. We went with the nickel metal hydrate for this, or the NIMH, because they're still good for electronics. They still can be recharged up to 1,000 times. Retain up to 80% of their charge rate while sitting for 2 years. They also have an 800 milliamp capacity, but you can't have rechargeable batteries without a charger. So we also picked up this kit, which has 8 charging ports, does the AA that are included, 8-pack, and the AAA, and they charge by USB-C. So we're going to open these and give these a try. They're supposed to come charged if I remember correctly, but we're going to see, to be able to charge them, you need a power supply. So we're going to check out how the USB-C port on our battery power station that we got a while back, and I'm in the middle of testing and reviewing because we get a lot of power outages, especially in the summer. So we're going to plug it into the USB-C port on here. Go ahead and plug it into the charger. We got some lights blinking, letting us know it's probably checking them. Let's go ahead and open these packs and see if it's charged. What happens when we stick it in? It's blinking. Now I probably should have read the instructions first, but with my vision it's a little hard for me to. And I figured it's pretty easy to see what's going on. Let's plug in one of the AA. We have a blinking on that one. We'll let these two sit while we check out the next devices. And you can't have a whole bunch of batteries without a place to store them. So that's where our battery daddy is going to come in. I reviewed this a while ago. It has a huge capacity, holds your button cells. It even has a battery tester, so this way we can check things out. Quick update on the batteries. It's been a couple of weeks since we just did that unboxing that you saw. We got 24 of the AAA, but we only got 8 of the AA. Now, a lot of stuff we already have around the house uses AAA between remotes, different things like that. What we've been buying lately, for some reason, it's been needing AA batteries. So since it's been a couple of weeks, we've enjoyed using them. They're holding up. We haven't had to charge them in the devices that we're using them in. And honestly, we use these devices every day. 2 of the items are about to unbox in this video. You'll find out in a second. We figured it made more sense to just buy a big pack. We didn't think we were losing our money or anything. Sometimes you see an unboxing and you're like, oh, that's cool, but how's the long-term use? Well, after a couple of weeks of using these, we enjoyed them so much, we bought 24 more, if that tells you anything. If you are interested in any of this stuff, I did leave links to it in the description. Just don't make a small commission. Let's move on to the next thing, which is going to be this variable power supply. Now, I've done some research on these. They say a lot of companies are moving the variable power supplies so you can just ship one thing with a whole bunch of different products and stuff like that. So they're kind of becoming mainstream, but we have quite a few things like older laptops that we got chargers for. Kids tend to, you know, be rough on them. We also have other things that we can't find specialty chargers for because we don't know which port to go with to match up with the voltage. So this has a bunch of different barrel tips. Also, this power station comes with its own power tips because you can charge DC on that, but we'll get to that part in a whole nother video. My point is, I've been getting a lot of these lately because apparently things are commonly being shipped with them now. So the way this works, and since we have an AC outlet on here, we're going to go ahead and give that a try because this handles up to 100 watts. So I'm sure with charging the batteries and doing this power supply, we're not going to have an issue. I'll be honest with you, when I ordered this, I actually thought that it was going to be a digital control. In other words, you have the little push button that you push to control, oh, and it's 3-prong. So we're going to use our 3-prong one. That's good to know that it's 3-prong for safety. All right, so let's turn on power supply. There we go. It goes from 2.84 volts up to 24 volts, I believe. Yes. So, as you can tell, it's got a little knob. Now, like I said, I thought it was a push button one, so this way I could actually set where it's supposed to be and it would like lock in place, but obviously it's that. So this might be an issue for you if you're worried about hitting it or you're using it for kids or something, because you don't obviously want it turned and then frying whatever device you're using. I did test this the other day on my old laptop. I tested it on some other devices we had, at different voltages, and it worked pretty well. We also have a couple other adapters. This one, which allows you to plug it into the barrel connector, and then you have test leads coming out. So I guess if you want to test something and play with it, or you're working on something and it needs to have a power supply, that's real good for us people who love playing with electronics. Then we also have this one, which I guess is to allow you to wire it in and give something its own connector. I'm not exactly sure. Barrel rail, and we had, like I said, that's a polarity reverser, and that would make sense. I do remember seeing, I looked at so many listings, I completely forgot. I think that is what was in this one. Shut the power off to this. You can watch the power go down. It stopped this. We will unplug it from the power station, which is still apparently charging these batteries up. So moving on from the power supply stuff, we're going to go to the kitchen gadget, which is a milk frother. Now, I did not want this for the milk frother part, although I will be trying it in my creamer and stuff for my coffee. I actually use real cream, so we'll see how that goes. That's going to be kind of interesting. We need AA for these. So the fact is, I got it because when I worked at a particular restaurant or diner, we used to use a milkshake frother and mixer to be able to make the eggs nice and fluffy. So with that being the case, I wanted it to be able to make eggs fluffy at home, and for years we've been looking at them. There's actually a set that I want to get. It's like 40 bucks on Amazon. It has a bunch of different things in a container and all, but she figured she'd just go ahead and get me the frother real quick. Ooh. All right, so the batteries, even though they're blinking on that, we do have charge on the batteries, so that's good. Look at that. That'll be its own little review later. I just wanted to point that out. Now, the last thing we have is a automatic soap dispenser. This thing has a 1,000 milliliter capacity. We have a infrared sensor. It's really heavy duty construction from what I've seen. We have this. I mean, look at that plastic. That ain't no thin little thing right there. Let's take that out. We do have some hardware to mount it to the wall. This plate on the back comes off, so we can put the screws in and screw it to the wall, and then it just slides down. Here is our reservoir, and the part that got me was the batteries are actually on the bottom on this. So let's take that off, and we need a 4-pack of AAA, I think. Yeah. No, these are AA too. Why did I think I needed AAA? Well, I waited on these batteries to come in, and I guess it's a good thing I did, because even though I had some AAA in the battery daddy, I needed AA for both of these. I'm gonna fight with this thing and I'll come back. So I did figure it out. It does have a little bit of a pressure to put it in there, at least at the moment, maybe because it's new or whatever, but you will hear it click, and you kind of get used to it, like, say, watch. So you got to put a little bit of force. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It means you've got a good connection. There's a on-off switch right here. We'll flip it over. You can hear it click. And there's a little white light. That's kind of cool, but we're going to turn it off so I don't dry run it too much. So when I went to go put it up and open the install kit, there was a screw for right here. I just want to make that note. And also, we noticed that this kept coming loose, and I was wondering why. It's because this little plastic key was in there. So while it doesn't lock down like a safe or anything, obviously, and you can technically pull it up from the back if you tried, that makes a huge difference right there. It's not just flopping all over. So that was kind of cool. I thought that was like an air hole or something. Here's our second update. We actually bought a second soap dispenser because we've enjoyed it so much. The one we're using for hand soap, this one we wanted for dish soap. Both of them will be in the kitchen. Now, we got the Arctic White, unlike the silver one that you just saw, because when we went to go get the silver one, it was on sale. It was like 40% off, making it $10.99. The next morning, when I actually went to put the order through that we had all accumulated, that had actually changed price. When I went back into it to see what the other options were, we found that the Arctic White was $10.99. Now, I didn't see a minus 40% off on it. It was just straight $10.99. So I'm wondering if this one's cheaper all the time. Maybe you want to check that out. We enjoyed it a whole lot, and it's held up. Like I said, we haven't had to change the batteries in it yet. It does dispense just enough liquid, which is part of the reason I wanted to get this for the dishes, because I want to be able to stick my sponge under there and dispense just enough so the sponge isn't overly soaped, but it can wash off grease on whatever dishes I'm doing at the moment, and then it'll be good to go. Now, the other thing we did notice was that while it dispenses liquid just fine, we originally put foaming in the hand dispenser, and it was kind of runny. Like, it wasn't foaming up. I thought maybe it would. My wife was saying you need a special foamer or something for that. It was just dispensing regular liquid. And that's part of the problem too. It was kind of thin, so it just seemed like you needed more of that liquid to be able to get the same result you did with when we put thick liquid, like regular strength liquid in there. So if you want to put something in here, I would go with something that's undiluted or you know, like a regular thickness type stuff versus some kind of foaming or whatever. But other than that, we're going to throw batteries in this one, go stick it on the wall and try both of them for a couple of weeks. We'll give you full updates later on, so keep an eye out for that. Let's continue with the video. So it didn't take long for them to stop blinking, so they were charged up. I just wanted to let you guys know that before you thought that they came dead or something. We're going to go put this up, test all this stuff for a couple of weeks, and give you better reviews. If you want to get any of this stuff, I did leave links for Amazon in the description. Everything came off there, and sometimes you can get it for a great deal. Like, I got a lot of this stuff on sale when I picked it up. The only thing that wasn't on there was the frother, but I got other links for that. In that kit that I was telling you that has like the chopper and stuff and the bowl, I left the link in the description because even though I haven't got it and tested it yet, you guys might like it and want to check it out yourselves. Just know that I'll make a small commission if you use any of them links. And if you want to see the full reviews on these when they come out, or if you want to see something else that I've put out, YouTube thinks you're going to like it right here. Thanks for watching. See you next time.